everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and hey, you know what? Let's do a little fun one today. Let's talk about pizza, because here's the thing. I love pizza. I think everybody loves pizza. I think we've all been, eating a fair amount of pizza since this lockdown began. And during this lockdown, there has been one new pizza joint that cropped up that has been getting a lot of attention. Now, it really started when users on the app GrubHub started looking up for local pizza places. And one couple in particular found this one, and it was called Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. Now, they had never, ever heard of this restaurant before. This pizza was completely brand new to them. Never heard of it. But the address looked really familiar. It looked extremely familiar. And they did some digging, and they found out why it was so suspicious. Now, I wanted to do some digging because, hey, I'm a journalist and all that. I know some people crack jokes about that, but I want to do some research to find out why this would stand out in the way that it did. And I decided to look up the chef of Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. And I actually found him. And this is Chef Pasquale. Confused? Well, here is Pasquale in his old gig when he was in a band with his band members, Dog Something, Bird Something, and Chuck E. Cheese. Which means that the reason this couple had saw this address and they thought it looked familiar is because that was the address of a Chuck E. Cheese that they had taken their kids to for years. And more research has come up to show that actually, yes, this is what's going on. Chuck E. Cheese is doing business under a different name on GrubHub. Now, why would they do this? Well, I've got my personal suspicions, but let's look to see what they have to say first. So, those pining for a barbecue chicken pizza from Chuck E. Cheese may have found it hard to find the popular kids spot and eatery on food delivery apps. However, GrubHub users have found a workaround by using a different name in their search for their restaurant's popular dish. Several online reports have circulated saying the national pizza brand possibly has rebranded itself on the popular delivery app GrubHub as an unknown pizza place called Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. The Texas-based restaurant has more than 610 locations across the country, but when you search for the term Chuck E. Cheese on the app, there's no sign of the brand. However, when searching for the unfamiliar Pasquale's, a menu that compares with Chuck E. Cheese and local restaurant addresses that are known for the brand pop up. And here's another screenshot, by the way. Now, this was first because of a report by Food and Wine, and a Reddit user named Kendall Neff placed a GrubHub order from a place called Pasquale's Pizza and Wings under the impression she was supporting a local mom-and-pop pizza joint. When she received her food, she was slightly suspicious about where it really came from. Just curious, she texted her GrubHub driver, was this food from Chuck E. Cheese? The driver, Richard, responded that when he picked up the order, the Chuck E. Cheese had the logo for the wing restaurant on its windows. In another bizarre twist, the Pasquale name happens to have a connection to the Chuck E. Cheese universe by way of its fictional chef of the same name. Now then, Twitter, of course, did what they did. They started tweeting about this. And the CEO of a spokesperson for Chuck E. Cheese, or the, I forget what it's called. It's like Showtime something or other. That's what the company's called. They actually responded to this rumor. They responded and they said, Pasquale's Pizza and Wings, named after another favorite member of Munch's Make-Believe Band. This one's too good. I don't even have to make jokes on this one. It writes itself. Ensuring high-quality fresh ingredients. Pasquale's Pizza and Wings recipes use fresh, homemade pizza dough, just like Chuck E. Cheese. But it is a different pizza that features a thicker crust and extra sauce, giving customers a more flavorful, more premium pizza experience. So basically they put more sauce on it. Yeah, whatever. While Pasquale's Pizza and Wings recipes are currently only available for delivery, select items might be added to the Chuck E. Cheese menu in the future. Now then, there's a couple things that could be going on here. Now, my personal belief on what's going on right now is basically no one wants to buy Chuck E. Cheese and have it delivered. You're not going to Chuck E. Cheese for the food. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. Watch any video on YouTube of someone eating Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Trust me, it's bad. You go to Chuck E. Cheese because of the arcade games. You take your kids there. It's basically Disneyland light if you can't afford Disneyland. So, and you have birthday parties. Like, hey, you want to have a birthday party for your kids with their friends, but you don't want to do all the cooking every day. That's what Chuck E. Cheese is for. No one's going there for the food. And during a pandemic, when Chuck E. Cheese restaurants are closed, that's going to be especially bad for them. So what do? Well, they sell their pizza under a different name on the GrubHub app. Now, in all fairness, because it's been a very, very long time since I've had Chuck E. Cheese pizza, and I am certainly not going to have it delivered just to try it out again, there might be a kernel of truth to their statement. They might be making the pizzas a little differently. They might. And, hey, if they make it differently enough, it's like, hey, we're selling a different food item. It comes from the same kitchen, but it's a different brand. I mean, you see those Pizza Huts and Taco Bells together, and you see the A&Ws and KFC combos. There are multiple different foods that come from the same kitchen, and it's not completely unusual. And who knows, maybe they are testing out a higher quality pizza, and they are testing it out and just seeing what happens. Who knows? That might very well be true. I don't think it is. I think what happened here is that Chuck E. Cheese was looking at its numbers dwindle, and hey, they did what they had to do. They decided to rebrand, and they made a slightly different pizza so that they could basically not be sued for it. But talk about a I don't know what to make of the story, because people are kind of confused. Some people think that they were conned by Chuck E. Cheese. And in all honesty, if you bought from Pasquale's, whatever the heck the name is, pizza and wings, and you got crappy Chuck E. Cheese, I could see why you'd be pretty upset. And yet a lot of people are also finding a lot of humor in the situation. Like, basically, that sneaky little rat, he got us to buy his pizza, and we didn't even go to the store. So I'm going to kind of chalk this one up as it was clearly dishonest. This was clearly dishonest. But, hey, you know what? Now that it's been revealed, I think it's more funny than anything. They basically schooled all the GrubHub owners, and it does open up the question, though, of what happens if other restaurants decide, hey, you know what, our food isn't popular enough to have a lot of deliveries. Let's change our name and make a slightly different product, and we could sell as if we're like a new local pizzeria. Because I think that was the original problem with this person. They thought they were supporting a local pizzeria, and it wasn't. It was Chuck E. Cheese. So, anyway, that's where this story ends. Not particularly complicated. Oh, it sounds complicated, but it's really not. Very funny, in my opinion. I guess if there's a lesson in here, you have to be careful, like, where you're actually buying your food, and if you see something and it looks like it's a local restaurant, probably might want to double check it. So, anyway, are those who, do you find this story funny? Would you have fallen for this trick? Do you think this is a trick? Or do you think, nah, this is harmless for the most part? Do you think GrubHub should do something about this now that the mouse is out of the bag, if you will excuse the pun? I'd love to know. Type 801 and comment below so that I know that you got to the end of the video. And like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one. Now, if you'll excuse me, looking at this story, I decided I was feeling a little bit of pizza, so I got myself some GrubHub pizza. I've never heard of this pizza place, though. It's from something called McPizza. It's straight down the road, and they promise that it's fast and it's high-quality, premium stuff. So, yeah, McPizza. I've never heard of them, but, you know, sounds like a local mom-and-pop dining shop.